The following announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
Take 3 Wrestling Podcast coming to you December 2nd, 2022. I'm your host. I am back, Ernest EJ Christian, and I love the new intro we have here on the show.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Fat Nash, what's up?
You're not the host of this show, you fuck. You don't know.
Well, I'm bringing it in, motherfucker. Fat Nash.
You take a fucking month off. Guess what? I'm not fucking finger poking a fucking doom. Fuck you, asshole.
I didn't believe until 10 minutes ago that you were actually still showing up for this.
I didn't either. I thought he pulled a skinny Hogan and decided to take a nap on someone's couch.
Well, yeah, because normally when I'm doing 3CT, I get a text like, give me your 10-minute warning because I'm old and I need to sleep and get my beauty rest.
Well, I had a chance to come on 3CT2 tonight as well, but then my kids said, nah. We're gonna hang out longer.
You missed a great Tuesday episode.
Yeah.
I may get them canceled.
No, we'll take care of that in post. There's no cancellation, but
anyway,
just more legwork on my part.
Okay, before we begin, if you can find a way to get me on to next Thursday's episode, if you guys do the Rolling Stones topic about let me know.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, we can make that happen. We can make that happen. I mean,
that one actually sounds very interesting, like the TV themes.
Yeah, the TV themes.
Oh, I cannot wait to hear this. I can't wait to hear this episode on Tuesday. Cannot wait. Anyway, this podcast, subscribe to all podcast catchers, Apple Podcast, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, Google Podcasts, you name it. Also, on my YouTube page, if you want to watch the this version of the show, the video version, on my YouTube page at Ernest Christian. Oh, man, we got a lot to talk about today. Where is Joe, first off? Is Joe, now that I'm back, he's gone again? Is this how we're doing this dance now?
Well, if you listen to the last 4 episodes that you weren't a part of, Joe has said that you guys have a ongoing beef that can only be determined via a Taipei deathmatch, and you're a bitch. So
I'm a bitch.
You're the bitch.
I'm a bitch.
I'm the bitch.
I'm a bitch.
Exactly. No, in all seriousness, I think he's learning how to close the restaurant tonight. I think this is his first closing shift.
Yeah.
As
he said he'll be on his way. He'll. I think we have his topic in the last slot. So
we got it there. So we got enough time for him to get in there.
Yeah, I think that's where we're at right now with the establishment of Skinny Hogan.
Yeah.
I feel like your name though, Ernest, should just be Vincent.
No, we ain't doing that. Nah.
I don't.
Nah, we ain't doing that shit.
That might have been racist.
No, I think they're actually cousins. I think it's
who?
You and Vincent.
No, we good. No.
You're not really. You're not.
I mean, I don't mind Vincent / Virgil / Soul Train Jones, but that's you know. Anyway.
I just don't think that you're the Eric Bischoff of this show. You don't have
no. I am Black Bischoff.
You don't have that much creativity.
You know, Black Gallagher. I'm Black.
It should be like Black Fake Sting. I feel like that's most appropriate.
The problem with that is I hate Wolfpack.
After your shenanigans from the past month not showing up here.
Okay. You know what? I'll be Black Horace Hogan. Okay, you happy?
All right, I'll allow that.
Shit. God damn it.
So,
anyway.
Joe may not allow that, seeing how he's Skinny Hogan.
Yeah, I said Horace. I didn't say Hulk. I said Horace. So,
but you guys are feuding. Horace didn't feud with his uncle.
Well,
at some point in his life,
I really feel like you're like Scott Norton.
Anyway, we are going to review Survivor Series of last weekend. What a good show, in my opinion. We'll discuss it match by match and see exactly where we stand on that. Also, Jim has a topic about the Royal Rumble, as we are now officially into Royal Rumble season, because technically, there's no more
there ain't another
PLEs until January 24th is the event?
28th.
Yeah. We got another this or that coming tonight from Mikey here. And then hopefully Joe gets here. We'll discuss his overrated, underrated pre-Women's Revolution edition, plus our usual Wrestlers of the Week. But first, to close out November, let's get to Wrestlers of the Month rankings for November. We have our rankings officially. Michael, you ready to go with that?
Let me open up the Google machine real quick, but I can do that while we're discussing. If I see another drop pass in this goddamn Bills Patriots game, I might throw up.
I turned it off already. It's 24/7 still.
Yeah, the Patriots have dropped like 7 passes on this drive alone.
Gross.
Hot garbage. All right.
Mike's getting this up here.
Also, as we Mike's getting it up, also too, we are announcing too that the very last show of the year, we will be doing our yearly awards ceremony here, Take the Wrestling Awards for the year 2022. We'll be having our categories finalized in the next week or two, hopefully. As Jim is showing his can we announce that now officially?
I announced
how you
it
got that belt?
I announced
Okay.
it on. He unboxed it on the live stream of.
Yeah, on 3CT. So we did a between 3CT and Take 3. We did a Secret Santa, and Mike drew me and got me my very first winged eagle and my very first mini WWE.
That's a pretty wing eagle there, buddy.
Oh man, it is awesome.
Is that blue in that thing too? Is that blue in it? Like really?
Well, yeah, and the globe in the middle.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah,
Oh,
man,
God.
the detail on it is freaking gnarly.
And by the way, per one of the topics from like a couple weeks ago on 3CT about, is the wing eagle belt the best belt? It is the best belt in the history of the company. Stop.
So if you listen, which you haven't to yet, but when you listen to this Thursday's episode, we talk about, and we'll talk about it during the Royal Rumble topic. So I don't want to go too far off the range, but we talk about the winged eagle again. So we'll get there
for sure.
All righty, rankings time.
Wrestler of the month. Obviously, I'll give you the top. We'll run through the quick top 25 for the month of November, and then I'll give you the updated top 10 so far for the year. We had a tie for first place for the month of November between the new AEW World Champion Maxwell Jacob Freeman and the new AEW Women's Champion Jamie Hayter. That was propelled by 2 first place notes by myself and Jim for Jamie Hayter. Ernest had her down in 4th. He had MJF at 1. Jim had MJF at 2. I had MJF at 3. So they ended up with the same amount of points. In 3rd place was Chris Jericho. 4th place, Seth Rollins. 5th place was Death. Yeah, exactly. Was Death.
Seth Rollins fast.
6th place was Samoa Joe. 7th, the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns. I think Ernest forgot that he was like in a main event because he had him ranked 12th in his.
Ooh.
Did he wrestle this month in November though? I mean,
acknowledge me.
Logan Paul in that great Saudi Arabia.
That was in November. Fuck. See, I'm saying I forgot it was in November.
Yep.
That was
Io Sky and Dakota Kai.
Google.com.
I'll send you the link.
Google.com.
What's the interwebs? What is that?
I'll send you a better link. Cagematch.net.
Yeah, that one could help as well.
In 8th place was Io Sky and Dakota Kai. 9th was Mandy Rose. 10th was Nick fucking Gage. 11th was Braun Breaker. 12th was Alexa Bliss and Asuka. Then it was Kyrie for winning the IWGP Women's title that Ernest didn't have her in the top 25 at all.
Right.
Orange Cassidy, Will Ospreay, and Saraya tied for 12 points each. Sami Zayn, the Usos, Jade Cargill, and Logan Paul tied with 7 points. Trey Miguel, FTR, Nikki Cross, Dominic Mysterio, and that man, JEFF. Got 1 point added to his season total. Before we go off on the tangent here, I get it. I rank the Usos a lot higher than Jim did, and a hell of a lot higher than Ernest did because Ernest didn't even have them in the top 25.
Ooh, I didn't? Oh, shit.
No, you didn't. The longest reigning tag team champions.
Yeah, I deserve that.
Longest reigning tag team champions of all time. I probably gave them too much respect. I put them in 4th just because of the.
Where did I have them?
You had them at 21.
Ooh.
I probably should have had them a little higher.
I probably should have had them down at like.
At least you ranked them.
13. 13 is
I was
probably.
gonna say somewhere 12 to 16, maybe somewhere in that frame.
Did they wrestle Crown Jewel though?
It was more the match against the New Day. At
SmackDown.
to
SmackDown. Okay.
And they did wrestle at the Saudi event as well. I think they opened the show.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I mean, either way, I probably overrated them a little bit in that aspect. So, but that's
they
the
defeated
result.
the Brawling Brutes.
Yep.
Yes. I remember that.
That's the results for the month of November. Now let's get to the yearly stuff because this is where things get interesting. The month of December is our last month for wrestlers of the year. Currently, I'll give you guys the top 11. There's a three-way tie in 11th right now at 71 points each for the Usos, Samoa Joe, and Maxwell Jacob Friedman. We have a two-way tie for 9th place between Wardlow and the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. In 7th, we have Baskin Robbins in his glory, Keith Lee. 6th, we have Carmelo Hayes. 5th, we have the returning Adam Hangman Page.
Okay.
Dropping a spot from 3rd place to 4th place after this month's results is the EST of the PhD of the Onomatopoeia, Bianca Belair. Our new 3rd place point getter, and someone that I could see that may lock himself into the 3rd place because of the month that he's going to have with the upcoming NXT show, is everybody's favorite Muppet, Braun Beaker. He has 97 points. Currently in 2nd place right now with 112 points is the head of the table. It is the tribal chief, Roman Reigns. And right now,
acknowledge me.
With 115 points, so he has a 3-point lead going into the month. It is the former AEW World Champion and Brotherhood of the Shield, Jon Moxley.
Yeah, I suspect he'll not be the leader by the end of this year.
See, you say that, but there's a strong chance that Roman Reigns does not wrestle a match in the month of December.
I don't see when he would wrestle in December.
Unless he is on a tribute to the Troops-esque show.
But even then, I mean, the tribute to the troop shows, because I know they did film one. So like one of those is going to be coming. That usually comes 3rd week of December.
That's what I'm saying. It's one of those where.
But it's such a it's not like it's a.
And there's a true chance that John takes on Paige before the first of the year.
So it airs on Saturday, December 17th.
Okay.
The tribute to the troops.
I mean, there's a real chance that Moxley takes on Hangman Page before then.
Okay.
And here's the deal. Okay, so this was the release from the WWE regarding tribute to the troops. It says it's first reported by Fox News because it's airing on Fox. WWE announced that the 20th anniversary tribute to the troops will take place Saturday, December 17th, 2:30 p.m. Eastern time on Fox in what is considered WWE's most patriotic and heartwarming show of the year. The company began tribute to the troops in honor to our servicemen and women and their families and thank them for their continued service to our country. The 20th anniversary event will feature a stacked card including SmackDown Women's Champion Ronda Rousey, Drew McIntyre, Braun Strowman, Sheamus, Imperium, and other WWE superstars in action. Last year's event on Fox was the most watched tribute to the troops since 2014, drawing more than 2 million viewers. Roman Reigns ain't on that show.
No, but I did think about this just now, and this Ernest may actually be right. This is the Kyle Nash popping into my head after we've had a debate. We're gonna vote on what happened this past weekend in Survivor Series for this month.
That's a good point.
Bloodline is going to be nominated tonight in some way, shape, or form.
Oh God, yeah.
So if they just finish in the top 5, or I mean, even in the bottom 5 and get 5 points, he'll jump Moxley if Moxley doesn't do anything this month.
I mean, I assume Moxley's going to do something because
I'm assuming he's going to fight Adam Hangman Page before the first of the year. So that's what I'm saying.
Because Winter is coming in 2 weeks.
Right, correct. 2 weeks.
And Page and him had to pull apart.
Yeah, so I assume they're going to wrestle at that. But you're kind of in a tricky spot with those two because do you have the returning Hangman lose or do you have Moxley eat another L?
I would almost have somebody come out and just make it a schmoz.
Yeah, that could also keep Moxley from being mentioned. So yeah, definitely some intrigue going into the last month here.
Yes, this one's gonna be tight. Obviously, this will determine our wrestler of the year. That's the one category that will be determined prior to us going live on the show. We have other categories that we've established. I'll work on getting that stuff out to you guys later this week, hopefully, so we can start.
Before we leave this topic, are there any other wrestlers other than Roman on that, not to go college football playoff rankings on you, that can crash the party between now and January? You think that can have a real chance of jumping in there?
It would take something monumental. Braun Breaker's in third. He's 97 points. John leads the way at 115. That's a...
But he fights pretty often on NXT TV, right? Braun Breaker?
Yeah, but here in case...
They do have a pay-per-view coming up on the 10th, right?
Yes. He's 18 points behind John. And so that makes him 16 points behind Roman Reigns.
Right.
So if Roman Reigns scores more than 10 points this month, he locks Braun Breaker out of the one spot.
Okay.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Breaker's defending the title against Apollo Crews. Should be a fine enough match, but
but here's the thing. There have been months where Braun Breaker's had good matches, and they've ran into great AEW matches or above average Raw and SmackDown matches. And, I have Breaker at 10. Jim has him at like 13. You have him at like 20. And it crashed his numbers because, like you've admitted in the past, you don't watch a ton of NXT.
Yeah, I mean, I don't either.
Yes, but you know what Google.com is.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
And I will be watching.
I know Earl Hayes.
I will be watching the NXT Deadline because the 10th we're doing our like 3CT family Christmas that day. So we're going to be watching both. And that's the other wrinkle is Ring of Honor's in there. So there's two pay-per-views. There's a big AEW show. So I think it's going to be a big uphill climb for Mr. Beaker. I think Reigns.
I would say Braun Breaker is the Ohio State or Alabama of the four.
Got it.
Gonna need help.
Kill them. They're not Clemson. They're not completely dead.
No, because it's something where if he goes out and has a 5-star Tokyo Dome match and Roman Reigns and Jon Moxley don't do anything else the rest of the month, or John loses to Adam and doesn't get nominated at all.
That's what I'm saying, right?
And you kind of just put Roman at like 7 or like 20th or something, and he gets like a quick 5 points, but Braun gets 25 somehow. Like, I'm not saying it's not possible, but I would say that it would need an absolute collapse from one of the guys at 1 or 2.
For sure.
Right. All right, let's get to last week's Survivor Series review. As we do on the show, we always go with, we go match to match, and we, grade it based in, instead of going A through F, obviously we do pre-show, which is obviously the worst, mid-card, which is obviously mid, and then of course main event is if the match is great. So let's go in order here. We got 5 matches from last Saturday. What's up, babe? What are you doing here? Because you
punch him.
She said to punch me. 24-10. Bills win. Okay, thank you, babe. Appreciate it. Love you too.
Oh, she's not gonna. I want you to hit him.
she will, trust me. Anyway, 39 minutes 40 seconds women's war game match. Team Bianca Belair defeats Team Bayley. War games. Team Belair of Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, Asuka, Mia Yim. What's her name again? Michin? How you pronounce it?
I'm just gonna keep calling her Mia Yim because I can't pronounce that. and I've already almost gotten one podcast tonight.
Yeah, let's just go Mia Yim.
And the returning Becky Lynch defeats Damage Control, Bayley, Dakota Kai, Io Sky, Nikki Cross, and Rhea Ripley. Mike, gonna go first? What grade do you give this one?
It's a WG match. It's a WG match, so it's obviously a main event. Honestly, one of the better women's war games matches that they've had.
I'm only gonna play it once.
That's fine.
You're the producer. Did you want?
I liked the match. Here's my problem, okay? And this is not just with this match. This is with every War Games match that WWE has had. This is with every match that they're going to have with the 2 rings in the cage. I don't need it to be a hardcore invitational. I don't need chairs and tables and ladders and kendo sticks
Agreed.
in every War Games match. I remember when the cage was the weapon.
Yeah, I was about to say,
Mhm.
man, like the
Right.
cage is a weapon in and of itself.
That in itself, yeah.
You know, I don't need, you know, and I get it, like the Undisputed Era with the Undisputed Era logo chairs and all that stuff. Like, it was cool. Absolutely. But, you know, a match of that magnitude, I don't need the other schmoz and extra for whatever reason you decide to do it. So, but that's what WWE has decided to do with it. I didn't know that we were stealing Lethal Lockdown from Impact Wrestling. I thought we were taking the old time-honored tradition of War Games. So, good match though. I like the finish. Even though it looked like Bailey just, you know, or Becky just literally launched her ass off the top and just hit her with like a eat my shorts invitational move. So other than that, no, it was a good match, a lot of fun. I like where it's going because now, obviously, I picked on the show last week. I picked Team Control Alt Delete to win because I thought Rhea Ripley would pin the champion to set up the challenge at Royal Rumble. I was obviously wrong. So, but like I said, good match. I do wonder where they go now with the title. It seems like you're going to get Becky versus Bailey. It seems like they're going to lock it up for a while. I think I think Mia and Rhea are still going to finish their stuff for a while. So I guess my question is, you know, where does inevitably the world champion go from here? I don't know if you guys have any opinion on that.
Well, the rumor was this week is that they want to set a WrestleMania for Rhea and Bianca. And I think, and by the way, it made event for me as well, too. The best spot that whole match for me was the whole spot with Becky and Rhea when Becky tried to hit her and Rhea blocks her twice with the arm. To me, Rhea looked like a fucking, like, to me, this restart for Rhea Ripley was culminated on this match. To me, I am now sold again on Rhea being a top woman in that company now. And this run to Judgment Day has changed everything for her. To now, look, if there's rumors are true about Rhea being in the main event, not the main event, but Rhea being a women's title match against Bianca in WrestleMania, sign me the fuck up.
I actually wish that would be a main event one night, but we'll get there.
Well, right. We'll see how everything plays out. So, but yeah, main event for me.
I mean, we'll get there because it's going to come up in the Royal Rumble question. Because
I'm sure. Yeah,
the ideas that we've.
But yeah, main event for me on that one, Jim.
Oh yeah, I mean it's a War Games match. It's the first women's War Games match on the main roster. Big for pay-per-view. You had the biggest names in your women's division. Almost all the biggest names in your women's division in the match. I thought most of the players in the match did a fantastic job. I don't think Alexa Bliss fit in this match. I thought she looked a little out of place. Didn't 100% buy into the match.
Well, you know what? It's too also star power too, especially.
What I mean, yeah, but I'm not going to penalize the match because maybe just a couple of the players don't necessarily fit in the match. But yeah, 100% main event.
Right. All right. 18 minutes, 25 seconds. AJ Styles defeats Finn Balor by pinfall. Jim, what do you think about this match, actually?
I'm going to put this in the mid card. The players involved are very good. But like sometimes if you're like trying different foods and like there's two foods that are really good by themselves and you put them together and they're not great. That's what I felt this match was. I thought that the OC versus Judgment Day match on Raw was infinitely better than this. Just maybe it was an off night. Everybody has bad days at work. Maybe that's what this was. Because I've seen AJ Styles and Finn Balor in the WWE do better than this. Was that one you go back where like Brian was hurt or something and AJ was like a quick fill-in or something? So yeah, great players, but mid card for this match.
Michael.
I'm gonna go mid card as well. I think the reality of the situation here, all of these matches are at best fighting for mid card spots because of what opened the show and what ended the show.
Yeah,
Correct.
I just think that when you're up against, War Games, and you're up against at the beginning and the end of the show, you got to go out and either have a 5-star classic or an absolute dud to be remembered on this show if you're not in either of those two matches. And that's just kind of where I unfortunately think that, maybe AJ knew that this and Finn knew that this was going to be a night where, if we never take it out of third gear, it's okay because we're going to do this again down the road when,
Right.
the stage is a little bit bigger and we're not going to be overshadowed by, this monstrosity. Also, the other thing, it's hard to keep the crowd involved. Bennett one, know what it's like when they're in the far ring, and like you're sitting at the entranceway where we were in 2019, and they're wrestling a match in the second ring, and you're just like, you need to pull out your like fucking magnifying glass or your fucking telescope and be like, what are they doing in there? It is kind of hard to keep the crowd, rowdy for that long whenever you're fighting at the other side of the world, it feels like. So that's one of those where, maybe War Games doesn't get pulled out every year. Maybe this is something where, we pick and choose when we use it from here. But it was just one of those where when you're sitting on the other side of the world, sometimes, and if they're not feeling it from the crowd, maybe that's why it didn't get out of second gear. All those are possibilities. I don't know. I'm just saying from an armchair quarterback perspective. We've seen better matches from Finn. We've seen better matches from AJ.
Right.
So I think this eventually happens. Where they have a little bit better of a dance together at some point. It just wasn't tonight.
Right. I'm also mid card as well too. It was a good match. I liked it. It was like, it's definitely something you'd rather see on Raw, obviously, but yeah, it was a good match, and that's all I can ask for, especially after following up the first match of the night. So it's what it is.
Well, it also didn't help that you had so much star power in both War Games matches that you didn't have a ton of other feuds that you could put a match on this show. Like you were just really like, if you didn't want to do AJ versus Finn, like you still would have ended up having like Dominic and Damian Priest against you.
Well, I think part of it that hurt it too is because you had 5-on-5 War Games, you had a triple threat match, and then you had another 5-on-5 War Games. The thing that you weren't going to do with match number 2 was do AJ Styles and the OC versus Finn and Judgment.
Yeah,
correct.
Like you weren't going to do a 6-man tag in match number 2 just because 3/5 of the card was more than a 1-on-1 match.
Although technically it would fit in the spirit of Survivor Series, though, to be honest.
It would, but I don't think today's wrestling fan is ready to see a show like
that.
that.
No, I agree with that. I want to see it either. But I'm just saying that would fit the spirit. But
if you were gonna do another multi-man match, I would have much rather you just find 2 more people to go with them and just do the 5-on-5 elimination match.
Right. Yeah.
But when you already have 2 5-on-5 matches on the show inside of a 2-ring steel cage, you don't need another one. You just don't.
And I think I think they may have found the thing that saves the name Survivor Series. The War Game should be a thing every year, honestly.
See, I don't know that it needs to be every year.
It's gonna depend.
It's got to fit. Like I think like next year, if it makes sense for, let's say, the women, but it doesn't make sense for the men, do a men's 5-on-5 traditional match and do a women's War Game.
Right. I'm not saying you have to do 2 of them, at least one.
Or you don't need to, because like that's the problem WWE has gotten into with Hell in a Cell and Elimination Chamber is like I don't need to see. I mean, Elimination Chamber kind of makes sense because you can tie it into like the WrestleMania the last, but like I don't need to see a Hell in a Cell match every October.
Agree.
I also don't need to see a Hell in a Cell match with like 2 weeks of build because you have to give the women's
right Right. Like, make it make sense. If it doesn't make sense, don't do it. Go back to traditional Survivor Series matches that have a story that makes sense.
You know,
Like,
that story made sense to an extent, especially the women's one.
Like, we didn't hear once this year brand supremacy.
Nope.
Like, those words in a Triple H world, I think, are dead. And I'm happy that they're dead.
Thank
So,
God.
like, I think you can do a traditional 5-on-5 match or 4-on-4, however they want to do it. But, like, it doesn't have to be War Games.
Or just do a regular card and let the names right sell itself like SummerSlam does, like Rumble does, and Mania does. It's a big four.
I think if you're gonna do, I mean, you're still gonna get a multi-man match because I think
you get a few of them in there.
I feel like if you're gonna leave the name alone, which I think you should, you have to have either a War Games match or a Survivor Series elimination match in some way, shape, or form. Because the Royal Rumble will always have the Royal Rumble match.
Right.
WrestleMania is always the biggest event of the year, and SummerSlam is always the hottest event of the summer.
Right.
If you have like taglines for your 4 big shows, you have reasons for them to be the way that they are. To take one of the reasons away from Survivor Series and not have War Games or not at least have a 5-on-5 traditional elimination match in some way, shape, or form. Like, I don't think you can just be like, hey, here's your Survivor Series card this year, and it's like 6 singles matches and like a tag team.
No, I agree. Like
that's gonna work.
But you don't need the whole card to be the same Power 5 either. You can have like
no, absolutely not. I don't think you're ever gonna go. You're never gonna go back to that to like what the original are. So you have a normal card. You have one, probably a men's and a women's traditional 5-on-5 or 4-on-4.
All right, let's move on here, guys. All right, SmackDown Women's Championship. Mike's favorite match of the night, I'm sure. 7 minutes, 15 seconds. Ronda Rousey retains, defeats Shotzi by submission.
I told you the under, by the way.
What was the under?
Told you the under, by the way.
Was it
last week's show?
You placed it
on the PW scorecard that you didn't fill out.
No.
One of the questions was, will this match go over 10 minutes? And I said no. Snap.
Yeah, you snapped. You got the snug under here, buddy.
Yeah, sure.
Easy call here. Pre-show next. Let's go. And,
garbage pre-show. I don't even need to talk about it. This match was fucking terrible.
We talked a little bit about it on 3CT earlier tonight. If you're not comfortable taking a move, if you're not comfortable taking a move, you need to tell your fucking opponent not to do the move. Ronda Rousey on that fucking bump on the outside that made Shotzi look like hot garbage. I get it. Shotzi's not like Sasha Banks or Becky or Bianca Belair, like the queen god of in the ring wrestling. But when you pair her up with a flaming hot piece of garbage in ring, what are you expecting? Like holding onto the rope to not take the move a certain way, like you're causing potential to hurt yourself more by just, if you're not comfortable taking the move, just say no. Like people will move the fuck on. Like we've learned about it in professional wrestling that, hey, don't feel comfortable doing it. All right, well, let's do something else. Now you're risking Shotzi getting hurt, you're risking yourself getting hurt, and now you kind of make her look fucking sloppy as fuck when it's not really her fault.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
it was just garbage, man.
I'm like, here's the thing. Ernest, you've been a fucking proponent of it. I love that, we're getting heel Ronda back. It's the only Ronda that I can stand. I can't stand this Ronda. Get her the fuck off of my screen. Like somebody is going to end up hurt because she wants to think that she's big bad Ronda Rousey and everybody should bow down to her, this, that, and the other. It's not good.
Dude, it wasn't just Ernest though. Like I loved Ronda's first run. I was excited to see her come back. The initial return was and then like she did this heel turn thing and I'm like, good. This is going to be what we've wanted from Ronda upon the return.
Mm-hmm.
And none of us were ready for those, like, especially those of us who were like, cool, glad to have Ronda back. Like she's going to be a great feature in this women's division. None of us were ready for how bad she is. None of us.
Yeah.
She looks like she doesn't care. I don't know. I can't remember the last time I've seen a wrestler from my perspective. I'm a fan. Like I've always said that. Like I've never done this, but I've watched wrestling since I was 4 years old. Okay, I've watched it for 33 years. I can't remember a time I've seen somebody regress to this, like on this level. And she looks worse than she ever did. And now I'm like questioning, like, was she ever good? Or was she put in there so many times with people who were so good that it made her look good? Think of her first match. Kurt Angle, Triple H, and Stephanie. Like Triple H and Angle carried that match.
Yeah, and Stephanie is cool with being thrown around like a fucking
Right.
rag doll.
Absolutely. And then think of all the best Ronda matches you can think of. There, Charlotte, Natty,
Charlotte and Becky.
Like people underappreciate how good Natalya Neidhart is.
Didn't she also have a match against Sasha at a Survivor Series?
I think so, yeah. So like you put her in with the best in the world, she's good enough to not tear that match down. And I love Shotzi. I think Shotzi has a lot of potential, but you put two people with potential or worse together, and this is what you get.
Especially one of them acts like they don't give a fuck.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh, and by the way, rumor has it, her Royal Rumble opponent is Raquel.
Ronda?
Oh my god. Ooh.
Oh,
not
boy.
good.
Thing sucks.
Because here's the thing, I think Raquel could be a future women's
Potential.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Potential. She ain't ready for that match though. She's not ready to carry.
Right, exactly.
She's not ready to carry Ronda's dead ass.
No. All right. They don't dead ass in this one though, because 14 minutes, 50 seconds. Truth that match for the U.S. title. Your boy, Jim. Austin Theory did it. Defeats both Seth Franklin Rollins and the other guy, what's his name?
Bobby.
Yeah, Lashley by pinfall. I love the match. Love the match.
Main
Oh,
event.
absolutely. Without question. Without question.
This triple threat was spectacular by all parts. I said on 3CT, so I'm not going to get long-winded here.
Mhm.
Austin Theory looked like he belonged in this match.
Absolutely.
This was his best work in the WWE period. He looks like an adult now. He has a beard. He doesn't have the briefcase weighing him down. So everybody, it's so funny how he went from buried 3 weeks ago when he cashed in on the U.S. title. And surprise, surprise, storytelling still happened, and he ends up as U.S. champion anyhow. And he actually looks like he belongs, and he's a different attitude and infinitely better.
I'm still going to bury him.
Rollins is great. Lashley's great, but yeah, spectacular all around.
I'm still going to bury him for cashing in on an open challenge.
Yeah, well, details, man. I think, and I think what happened there goes back to Vince McMahon had a vision of what he was going to do with Theory as the Money in the Bank briefcase winner. Vince McMahon ain't in the house anymore, and Triple H is like, fuck, we got to do something with this guy. You know what? Let's just do this cash in on Raw, get it off of him, and we can reset from there. And that's exactly what they did, and they've done it really well.
And the best part too is with a belt that actually fucking matters in a big way on that show, because the tribal chief has both the two main belts there, so the U.S. title actually matters. Seth Rollins, with the belt matters, so Theory now holds a belt that actually is getting a lot of shine right now on that show. So it was a great reset. But Mike,
what I did say, I'll give the match a main event. It was teetering towards mid card for me, and then the finish propelled it over the edge.
Yeah,
back up to a main event for me. First off, I need him to stop trying to steal the acclaim with his A-Town Down thing. Like
we gotta get rid of that music.
Got to go.
Yeah,
has to go.
I agree with that.
Stupid fucking A-Town Down.
Yeah, if you're gonna do a reset with this guy and make it more serious, the music gotta go also too.
Like why? Like I need him to come out, and I need him to be a serious heel that's there to beat people up and retain his title. Because here's the thing. If that's going to be your main title on your main show, and guess what? As much as you want to say Friday Night SmackDown is the main show because the world champion's there and it's on national television, Raw is still the fucking flagship bearer of WWE. I don't want Dorcas Malorcas as my United States champion, and to be my worker. Like Seth Rollins, certified worker. Bobby Lashley, certified worker. Austin Theory,
Bobby!
Calvin and Hobbes wannabe. Like, I need him to be more serious in this rebrand. Like, perfect example. You want to be this super fucking over heel, get booed, be a bigger fucking act. You know who you need to chime your inner piece of? That's The Miz. He needs to come out and be the cocky, arrogant heel. I'm better. I'm fucking young. I'm fucking jacked. I can go in the ring. Because here's the thing. He can do all of those things. I've watched him do it on the independents in Evolve title matches and shit like that. But he's not the worker champion to me. Like, when you think of the championships right now, Roman Reigns. I love Roman. I love the tribal chief. But he's more of a attraction.
Yes.
When you think of the champions that are going to be in-ring wrestlers defending their titles, you have Austin Theory and Gunther. Gunther's a whole different fucking breed than Austin Theory. Like, I just need more from him in this development of the character for me to be all in on an Austin Theory US title run. Not shitting on it. I'm not saying that I'm out on it. I just need more.
Okay, makes sense. Is that okay? No, I'm with you on that one. I actually didn't mind the prior to him getting the briefcase. I didn't mind the character he had before with the fucking cell phone. Obviously, you don't want to keep doing that all the time. You wanted it to grow at some point. So you can do a little bit of both. Like The Miz has a lot of those same elements in some degree, but The Miz does asshole much more creative than anybody probably in the business right now.
The problem with like the selfie the selfie deal is like you can only do that for so long.
Right, exactly. You got to grow from that at some point.
Right, also, like it does just seem like it's an annoying kid situation.
But I will say we probably
the fourth person that's had that gimmick.
What's that?
Right.
It's also he's also like the fourth person that's had this selfie.
This is very true.
Yeah, I mean he had his own spin on. I mean, like again, everything in wrestling is for the most part is a play off of something that's already been done.
Tyler Breeze did the selfie gimmick better.
Could be argued that?
Yeah, it was also a bit different.
Right. But again, I think where he soured on a lot of people, like on me a little bit, definitely on Mike, and maybe on Jim to some degree, was when he's given the keys to the Almost Kingdom, when he got the briefcase. That was like, oh, well, wait a second. I'm okay with the character. I'm okay with Theory, but now you're setting him up to be the next guy? Like, he's going to cash in on Brock or on Roman? Or no. What are we doing here? I think that's where people soured him. So taking, Hunter did the right thing, taking the briefcase away from him, reset, put him up in a mid-card status, and now, and to be honest, like I said, the U.S. title right now matters more than it has mattered in a very long time. This is a great reset and a great rebrand, I think. And I think if he continues to, grow his character now in the next couple months, going to Mania, Rumble and Mania, of course, I think he'll be fine. Honestly, it's on him at this point now. So, yeah. All right, and finally we have the main event: 38 minutes, 30 seconds, men's War Game match. The Bloodline of Roman Reigns, Sami Zayn, Solo Sikoa, and the Usos defeat.
Did you just call him Toyota Sequoia?
Solo Sikoa.
Acknowledge.
No, I said Solo Sikoa, but yeah, I should call him Toyota Sequoia.
How did you just call Solo Sikoa a SUV by Toyota?
That's my boy, though. I love Solo.
Toyota Sequoia.
I didn't say Solo, though.
My dad used to have one of those.
Hey, I think we need to put a Toyota Sequoia shirt on the T Public. Oh, God damn it.
Oh, yeah. Mike,
We
Mike.
don't have one.
We're hoping to get it restored.
Yeah, by tomorrow,
We'll just make
hopefully.
another one.
I'm in the midst of a blood feud with fucking T
Yeah,
Public.
we're gonna. Yeah, let's
We're
not talk
Bubble
shit.
Sequoia. We'll make another store. They can't
Yeah.
stop us from making another one.
We're
That's true.
literally about to be 60-minute Broadway with T Publix right now.
If this one doesn't get restored, and thank God we only had 2 designs on there, just
Yeah.
make a new email address, take3wrestling@gmail.com, and we'll start a store from there. And then hopefully that one will live on.
Anyway, the Bloodline defeat the Brawling Brutes of Sheamus, Ridge Holland, and Butch, Drew McIntyre, and Kevin Owens by pinfall. Easy answer. Main event. Great fucking storytelling. The climax of the story at the end. You already know how I feel about this shit. Let's go.
Anyone who says that WWE doesn't tell long-term stories can officially fuck all the way off, because you couldn't be any further from, like, you couldn't be any more wrong, man.
How far? How are we off?
All the
far?
way.
They're
All the
so
way?
far off.
Yeah.
Like, come on. It's so, like, this is when Jey Uso hugged Sami Zayn. I'm a 37-year-old man and I got fucking chills, dude. Like, I am so invested in this storyline. It is unbelievable. I couldn't remember. It had to be Bray Wyatt stuff was the last time I was invested in anything close to this level. And I may be more invested in this than I was in the Bray stuff, because the Bray stuff was super cool, but it wasn't like one big long story. That was just a character.
You mean
like
pre-Fiend, Bray?
Both. Like, I
Okay.
love the Fiend too. I love everything Bray Wyatt does.
Okay.
But like, this is a long story and it's told just so fucking brilliantly. Like, dude, yeah, main event all the way. It's on my list of matches for match of the year. I am almost willing to guarantee it's gonna be in my top 5 for 2022. That's how good it was.
Yeah, I agree. Michael?
I said it on 3CT. I'll reiterate those facts that I've stated here. Arguably the best men's War Games match that WWE has put on. Arguably a top 5 War Games match of all time, probably top 3 of all time. The storytelling was perfect. Everything about it worked to a T. It felt like NWO versus WCW, where, Jey Uso played the role of Lex Luger. Is Sting going to turn on us? Is Sting going to turn on us? With Sami Zayn playing the role of Sting. There just wasn't a fake Sting to come in and fuck it up. It worked perfect. I'm interested to see what the next step is for the Bloodline. I get it on paper, the logical thing, and we're going to talk about the Royal Rumble here in a few minutes. So I don't want to go too far off of that. The logical thing we'll talk about, but I don't necessarily know that I'm all in on this being the beginning of the end of the 5 of them as a unit. There's so much more here. I'm not ready to rush Sammy out of the Bloodline or anything along those lines. So, sign me up for the long haul.
With you.
This thing fucking going. If this is something that we run until fucking next year's WrestleMania in Philadelphia, there's legs to get there.
Sign me up, motherfucker. Because you have the storyline between Jay and Sammy. You also have Sammy and Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
Well, you also
that part's cool too, man.
You also have the fact of the Usos are inevitably going to drop the tag titles to someone.
It's who and how.
So then they're going to feud with them, and they're going to need Sammy and Solo's help, and Roman's going to want to get the titles back so that the Bloodline has all the titles. Like, there are things that are going to happen. Hypothetically, he loses one of the world titles at WrestleMania to someone. Maybe he sends Solo over to that show with Sami Zayn for a while to try to get the title back. There are so many different things that you can do with the 5 of these guys. Give me all of the long-term storytelling here. Main event. I'm probably one of the biggest aficionados on War Games matches. I love watching them. I love going back and watching War Games matches. There used to be a thing on the old WWE network. I don't know if it transitioned to Peacock, that it was just all the War Games matches that they had on the network. It was just the War Games match. You have to sit through the whole pay-per-view. You have to fast forward. It just started at the beginning of the intros of the War Games matches. I sat there and I watched that for.
I feel like they did. I think Rob over on the Mindless Wrestling podcast was talking about that. They
Okay.
still have that.
Because that's how I used to just sit there and just watch War Games match after War Games. Like, next, I'm like, I've been sitting here for 3 fucking hours. I've been through 3 War Games matches. It's like, what just happened? Because and that's why I say that I truly believe that this match is the best one that WWE has put on. It is a top 5 War Games match of all time. But God damn it, I'm over weapons in War Games.
Yeah.
Sometimes just let the cage be the weapon.
And this is the one. The women's match, if you wanted to do, weapons or whatever, because, they've brought weapons into it with Bayley and them hurting Alexa and Asuka with weapons and stuff like that. Like, if you want to tie that into it, fine. But the Brawling Brutes don't need weapons. Drew McIntyre's weapon is a murder quality object in a sword. And Kevin Owens has never been a guy who really needs weapons. It's always been his hands.
Yeah.
He's always been the prize fighter. Like, this is the one where the weapon shouldn't have existed. This one should have been the cage is the weapon.
Yeah.
That's my
man slapping me.
Exactly. If there's going to be one negative to the match, that's my one negative. The other negative that I have, and I said this to you guys in the group chat, God damn, like, I get it. Roman Reigns is on this pedestal, but the other 4 members of the Bloodline looked like fucking midgets against half of the fucking Brawling Brutes.
They did.
They just looked so much smaller. And even Ridge Holland, they looked tiny compared to Ridge Holland. Like, and I get it. It's the strength in numbers mindset and all of that, and that's how they win matches. But damn, they need some muscle beside Roman. Like, I get it. Solo's supposed to be this street fighter. He's
Right.
Solo's
Solo's
super tough. But when you're 5'8" fighting a guy who's 6'5", like, I don't care how tough you are. Inevitably, if you're facing Drew McIntyre, like, you better be more than strong.
Well, it begs the question now. As you said, this is a real faction now that's growing in numbers. Do you continue to grow the faction in numbers as the story continues to progress? As we're saying, like, do you see they have 5 now, right? Numbers now. So who will be the 6th member you can see maybe getting tagged into there in the next year or so?
I don't.
There's no one right now unless they go sign Jacob Fatu from MLW.
Yeah.
Like, there's just there's nobody that they're developing. Like, if you're going to add someone, it's going to be a female.
That's true.
Like, you're not adding another male right now because there's nobody in.
What female are you adding? I mean, you could add if you can get Naomi back in the company.
That's perfect.
You have it. You have an easy tie there,
and she matters more now. Immediately matters more than at any point since being SmackDown champion years ago.
Oh, without question.
I mean, I think the other name that nobody wants to think about because she hasn't wrestled in ring yet is the Rock's daughter.
That's another one too.
I get it. She's part of the whole the schism and all that shit down in AEW.
But how far is she away from being a main roster person?
I don't think she's wrestled a match yet.
There we go.
Yeah,
not at least in NXT. She has it on TV.
Yeah, she's a ways off. She's only started she's literally only started training within the last year.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's been longer than a year, but I think she got hurt.
She did.
So I think it's one of those where she took a major bump in the road.
Yeah.
And like I said, she may be wrestling on the loop. She might be doing stuff on the NXT house shows, but I don't see her being ready anytime soon.
Right.
I would have understood them wanting to do it because that's a way that you tie The Rock into coming back to fight Roman.
Very true.
But I just don't think that that's remotely
right. And again, I don't want this to be some NWO thing where they just get every member around the world. Like, obviously, the WWE is smart enough to know we ain't doing that shit. But it wouldn't hurt to have one more guy, you were saying, with muscle or another girl there, a female there on the roster, to join that faction. to make it.
I
To fill
mean,
it out.
besides a 5-on-5 match at Survivor Series, when do you really need to feature all 5 people at the same time?
You know,
You don't.
You don't. So like I don't see this being a problem, because like if the Usos are wrestling, all you need is Solo on the outside. Or if Sammy's wrestling, all you need is the Usos on the outside. Like you don't necessarily need all 5. Or like if Roman's wrestling, you powder in the other 4 throughout the match. Like you don't need all 5 or more people outside of a Survivor Series situation. So I don't think there's a need, with the exception of adding a Naomi. I don't
Right,
think
female,
there's
right.
yeah, I don't think there's a need to add anybody to
In
it.
fact, that would be the direction to go in. In fact, if you're going to do something of that
Yeah.
ilk, is to add a
I
female.
think I
round
honestly
out.
do think it's a matter of time before that happens too. Like
Yeah.
I think the questions around what's going to happen with Sasha, and once that gets resolved,
We hope.
whether it's going to get resolved in one way or the other.
Right.
So if Sasha doesn't return, then you can strike a deal with Naomi to bring her back.
hit
What, Mike?
the breaking news stuff.
Oh, okay.
As filmed tonight and shown during the Impact Wrestling show, Eric Young has been killed off of Impact Wrestling, being basically stabbed to death by Cody Deaner, who's taking over the Violent by Design leadership role. And with that, 42-year-old Eric Young is making his return to World Wrestling Entertainment.
Is this confirmed?
PW Insider is reporting with multiple sources that he's going back to WWE. And then there's the clip of the Twitter of, quote, eliminate the sickness, which ends with Deaner stabbing Eric Young, basically killing him to take over Violent by Design.
Honestly, I see him going there more to be a agent than a wrestler.
I think that there's a very strong chance that we get the reunion of Sanity.
Who's Sandy again?
Nikki Cross, Killian Dane, Eric Young, and Alexander.
Okay.
I think in some way, shape, or form we get some kind of level of Sanity back together. I don't know if Dane comes back. I don't think Alexander Wolf comes back. But you can put 2 other people with EY and Nikki Cross and have a level of Sanity back in there, because here's the thing. They're a perfect group to feud with Rhea Ripley and Judgment Day.
Well, that's a good point too. I also did see this tweet because there's been a lot of rumor around Chelsea Green and her exit from
Matt Cardona.
Matt Cardona's wife.
Cardona.
Jesus Christ, EJ, this is why you're not the host of this show.
That's what I wanted to say. I haven't said Matt Cardona one time.
For fuck's sake. But there's a lot of talk around her exit with Impact Wrestling. She tweeted, and on screen it was talking about like going home.
Mm-hmm.
Deonna Purrazzo tonight tweeted, "Hey, I'm Chelsea Green. You got room at home for me?" So that may be one to watch too, with a potential Deonna Purrazzo return back.
Well, I know she has a match at Hard to Kill, or before Hard to Kill, with Mickie James.
All I know is ever since Hunter took over creative, a lot of folks have been itching to get back to the WWE.
Mia Yim literally said in an interview this week that Triple H is the reason why she's back.
Yeah. I just think it's a matter of time until Tegan's back.
Absolutely. I think it's a matter of time before Keith Lee is back.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah, here's the thing. It's currently announced for the January 13th Hard to Kill pay-per-view. Bully Ray versus Josh Alexander for the Impact Wrestling World Championship. And Jordan Grace versus Mickie James for the title. If Mickie loses, she must retire.
Retire? Go WWE.
One last run.
I don't think she comes back. I think Mickey's done. Unless Nick comes with her.
Oh, okay.
And here's the thing. Give me Nick Aldis in World Wrestling Entertainment. Give me Nick Aldis versus Cody Rhodes for the Winged Eagle title.
Yeah, I would bring in Mickey and Nick Aldis, give them, whatever year and a half, one final run in the business, and then they both become producers of WWE.
Well, I mean, you could probably get more than a year out of Nick Aldis if you really wanted to.
Yeah, but
but he's also going to be a guy who's going to have a hefty backstage role.
Absolutely, both of them will.
Oh, and by the way, if they get William Regal back, put fucking him with Nick Aldis and let him be the mouthpiece. If you don't want Nick Aldis to cut promos.
You guys believe the Regal rumors about him coming to WWE, or you think?
I think he's coming back sooner rather than later. I don't know.
I think it's 50-50. Either he's coming back now, or AEW is going to invoke the reported option on his contract, which would be 2 more years. So we'll find out here soon.
See, that's what I'm getting at. Like, he may not be coming back now if they invoke that option, but I think he comes back eventually.
Oh, I think he comes back eventually. Yeah. But yeah, I think whether or not he's returning now, as is being reported, is kind of a 50-50 situation.
Right. All right, on that note, let's get to Jim's topic, as we now officially have entered Royal Rumble season.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not even as much as we've entered Royal Rumble season as it is currently the next WWE Premium Live event on the schedule. But with a lot of the talk with what they've done leading up to, and kind of the aftermath of Survivor Series with the Bloodline, a lot of people have begun looking at Sami Zayn going, is he the guy? Should he be the guy? Or is Kevin Owens the guy? Should Kevin Owens be the guy? Because I think for the longest time, we've been under the belief that it's going to be Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
Cody Rhodes is going to return at the Rumble. He's going to win the Rumble. He's going to go on to Mania, and he's going to beat Roman Reigns. And they're going to find a way to split the titles. I think that's been like the prevailing belief, because Cody just keeps talking about, I want the title that Dusty didn't win. Cody didn't give a shit about the Universal title.
Nope.
And honest to God, that it truly does make the best sense on how you can split those off. Because Cody doesn't give a shit about the Universal title. He wants the WWE Championship. He wants the black strap, what used to be the Winged Eagle. That's what Cody wants. So that's been the prevailing belief, is Cody's going to return. He's going to win the Rumble, win the title. But now I think there's more questions than ever. Like, do we truly know if Cody is going to be healthy? The prevailing belief is that he is. But now Sami Zayn, no, I don't think anybody expected when Sami Zayn started doing stuff with the Bloodline that he was going to last this long in the Bloodline, and it was going to be as good as it is. And now the stuff with Kevin Owens, so that's a twist on it. So really, and this isn't. I want to make sure like this is clear, because I think, and we got long-winded in the early part of the 3CT, so we didn't really get to dig into this and kind of clear things up with some of the responses. This isn't who do you want to win the Royal Rumble, and it could be the same. It could be the same answer, but who should win? Sitting here today, December 1st, 2022, who should win the men's Royal Rumble match and on January 28th? And whoever wants to lead us off can feel free.
I'll lead off since I just joined the show.
Hi, Joe.
Hi, welcome to the second hour of Dynamite.
What's up, Steve-O?
I'm a bitch.
Will you stop? So,
Yeah, I'm the bitch.
My answer, I have to say Sami Zayn. I don't see how he's not the person at this point in time. And 6 months ago, this was not the case. 6 months ago, to me, the only answer was Cody Rhodes. I think the Sami Zayn storyline in the Bloodline, I get big Yes Movement vibes. I get big.
Oh, I like that.
We didn't expect things to go like that. That was a surprise. We didn't expect things to go in this direction.
I just turned Mark to my computer.
So, we didn't expect things to go in this direction, but now we are in this direction. Look, for those of us who have followed Sami Zayn's career for a long time,
The generic luchador from Tijuana, Canada.
Ole, oil love. I will say that this man has the capability of being the top baby face of any company he's ever worked in.
Mhm.
Hands down. The fact that he wasn't ROH World Champion at some point, with as over as he was, and as clearly potentially the top face in the company as he was, is almost one of those travesties of Ring of Honor history that will never be corrected, probably, at this point.
He was too busy worried about the orphans.
Right. I mean, understandable, obviously.
He's a good man.
Good man.
So-
Mucho, what's the heart word?
Harto.
Harto? No, that's not it.
That's what he would say. That's
Mucho Harto?
what
Yes.
Ozzy would say.
Sammy's so obviously it could be all on the Cody thing for the last like 6 months. I agree with you on Sammy. Sammy's the only other person right now I can think of that can shock the system
It's
in
not,
a way.
it's not an only other. I think Sammy makes more sense than Cody.
Oh, I agree because the storyline too, especially.
Because of the storyline, right? Which like, and I heard Jim saying this as I was walking in the door. You couldn't have guessed this 6 months ago with Sami Zayn.
No.
Sami Zayn being in the Bloodline was basically a joke that you got like 3 segments out of every SmackDown. Like,
I mean, 6 months ago, Vince McMahon was still running WWE.
right. And the other thing, like, Sami Zayn was literally the like lackey who like we're all laughing at because he thinks he's in the Bloodline, ha 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 ha. And then Triple H takes over, and all of a sudden it's like the Sami Zayn's the most awesome part of the Bloodline. Jay or Jimmy, whichever one of them, didn't trust him for a while.
Jay.
Like, that was all so well done. All of this is and it's developed so naturally. Is the thing.
That's the best part of it.
Because the thing is, like, the Bloodline are clearly bad guys. They're clearly heels.
Mm-hmm.
But Sammy gets cheered. Sammy is over with the crowd. When he's not there, you get chants of "We want Sammy" or "Sammy Uso" or all that kind of stuff. Sammy is the top face in a heel stable. That is how over this man is. If that doesn't translate to winning the Royal Rumble and challenging for the title in a storyline that clearly is just so well laid out, and the thing is, Triple H has been really good, and his creative team has been really good about playing out long-term storylines. This is a long-term storyline. Like, I don't see a scenario where Sammy doesn't win the Rumble, and then you have the Bloodline. You know, you have Jimmy and him are fine, or Jay and him are finally like on good terms after War Games. So of course Sammy wins the Rumble, and now you have Jay being like, "Yeah, you're going to give up that title match, right? Like, you're not really like Roman's just got the night off at WrestleMania, right? Ha ha ha!" And you got Roman expecting the same thing, and then when Sammy doesn't do that, and they beat the living shit out of him at that point, like, all of this makes sense to me.
I mean, Mike was saying earlier in the show that he wants to go into Mania, Philadelphia, the storyline. So the only other person that I like to see, because obviously you have the Drews and the Brocks and all that shit. I mean it's the obvious names. What about Gunther?
No, but again, the question isn't who would you like to see.
Oh, like to see.
The question is who should.
I like to see Gunther
because they are two distinctly different questions.
If they're going to split a title at some point anyway, and those 2 titles are the 2 main titles of the entire company, I can see Gunther get into the conversation by the time we get to April next year.
That's fine.
Winning the Rumble will
see Gunther in the world title spot.
Right,
I would love to see Kevin Owens.
Right, winning the Rumble will actually set that stage for him to.
But sitting here today, should Gunther win the Royal Rumble match?
No,
not a second.
Okay, so Gunther's off the table.
It's Sammy. It is Sammy.
Should.
To the disappointment of your wife.
Yeah, you know. Have you seen the Gunther shirt on the shop?
No,
just like the big handprint. I'm like,
God,
I want to get that. I'm getting that. Like, we're not
It's
doing.
like
we're not
Andre
doing
Giant?
presents for each other. I'm gonna get that for her as a surprise Christmas,
Oh, nice.
just to make her laugh.
I mean, Sammy. I mean, who else would make sense right now in the company? I mean, obviously Seth.
Seth needs it.
He doesn't need it. That's the thing. He doesn't need it either.
That was gonna be like the extra topic on 3CT. Is like I don't think Seth needs.
But he also falls into the
any
whole
title.
thing, as you said. Also falls into the whole like same typical names: Drew, Brock, Seth.
Yeah, and I mean, I would have no problem with him winning it and
Oh, no
potentially
doubt.
winning the title. But to me, there's two names. There's Cody and there's Sami Zayn. Those are the only two names that should even be considered for should.
See, here's my thing when it comes to someone like Seth. And follow me through on this, okay? Seth can be a name in a WrestleMania match. Like, you don't have to have Seth versus Roman. You can have Seth versus fill in the blank. You know, they decide to randomly give Chad Gable a really big singles push. You can give Chad Gable a match with Seth Rollins at Mania, and it means something because Seth Rollins is Seth Rollins.
Thank you.
So, like, that to me, like, you don't need to waste Seth Rollins in a world title match or a match against Roman. You don't need.
Oh, for sure.
No, that's what you're saying.
Like, as much as I love Sami Zayn versus Jey Uso on night one isn't selling any tickets.
No.
You know, like Sammy.
I mean, honestly, though,
versus Usos is a feature match, but you need three other guys then to make that a feature match.
I mean, honestly, at this point, WrestleMania really sells the tickets anymore. Like,
I mean, yes, truthfully,
you know what I mean. Like, I don't think there may be some last minute people who live in or around the city in which WrestleMania is held that make a last minute decision based on it, if there's a certain match that gets booked late. But like the size of the event, and all of that, like I think WrestleMania, it's the Super Bowl. Like the WrestleMania sells itself. Like you just want to be there for it.
Yeah, I agree. Cody and Sammy. The reason I put Seth as a wild card though, because Seth has been on that picture now for a couple of years now, on the title picture. He's been the guy getting guys over, and for the record, has not gotten hurt.
He wrestled for the world title at Royal Rumble last year.
Yeah,
He beat Roman by DQ.
But he's not. But what I'm saying, he's not
the only person.
In the
He's really the only person that's beaten Roman in this run.
Right. Well,
it was by DQ. Like
DQ.
Roman still hasn't been pinned.
I'm gonna.
It's Cody. To me, it's still Cody.
It's still Cody. Yes.
Like, I think, and I'm gonna. I kind of like where Mark's cousin Brian, because he made a comment during 3CT that Kevin Owens in the Royal Rumble will eliminate Sami Zayn for the good of Sami Zayn. And like, then I think you can get a Kevin Owens Sami Zayn match at WrestleMania that in a way will sell tickets. But to me it's Cody. The story is Cody. Like it was the biggest return in wrestling this year. And it's going to be, even though we're seeing it coming a mile away. It's going to be arguably like the biggest return in 2023 because I think he's the Rumble winner, and I think he splits off. I think he wins the title that Dusty never won. I think to me it's as long as he is healthy, which I mean, I believe he's going to be. It's Cody for me.
Yeah, I'm with you. I said it on 3CT. I'll say it here as well. Sami Zayn versus Roman Reigns just doesn't feel like a WrestleMania main event to me. It main events Royal Rumble. It main events SummerSlam. It main events Survivor Series. It main events any other premium live event that you can put it on. I can buy into it. But when you think biggest event that you're putting on of the calendar year, Cody Rhodes is a bigger name. Seth Rollins is a bigger name. The Rock's a bigger name for this situation. I love Sammy to death. But when I'm thinking second night in LA, closing out WrestleMania, it's not Roman Reigns versus Sami Zayn. Not this year. Not right now. Because I think, A, there's more legs to the bloodline situation.
Right.
And B, let's be 100% frank. Sami Zayn's going to be awesome to watch him get speared and Superman punched about 37 times and be the resilient face that doesn't give up just to be another statistic.
Well, okay, but Ken, I'm not going to disagree with you there. Do we need Roman's title reign to end at WrestleMania this year?
I think the titles need to be split up, yes.
If Cody's back.
I think we need a world title on Monday Night Raw. I get it. Your boy is the fucking working champ on Raw right now.
We gave him praise early. It's okay. We gave him praise early.
I think Raw needs a world title.
But nobody said anything about splitting the titles, whether or not Cody's involved or Sammy's involved anyway.
We did mention, we said splitting the titles. I get it hasn't been talked about on WWE.
Okay.
We said that, and I even said this, and I said it on 3CT, that I would have Roman versus Rock main event night 1, and I'd have Roman versus Cody for the WWE title. Have them defend both titles. Rock gets the Universal title match because it's the title he never won.
Right. But Jim was saying before, the question is, who do we think is going to win? Like, do you think that they're actually going to split the titles?
I think Cody Rhodes wins the Royal Rumble whether they split the titles or not.
Okay. No, that's fine. I'm just saying, like,
because I truthfully believe that Sami Zayn doesn't sell tickets to WrestleMania in the main event.
But okay, so then by that argument, so twofold then, to just follow up. Number one, like Jim was saying earlier, WrestleMania sells itself, so does that matter necessarily? And then number two, I'm going to take the stance of, I don't think Roman's title reign needs to be over yet. Especially like you were saying, there's still legs to the bloodline. I don't think Roman needs to lose at WrestleMania this year. And given that, Sami could be the perfect opponent for him.
But does Roman Reigns need the world title?
Yeah, I don't think Roman's.
I don't think he needs to lose it. I like the reign.
But we're at a point where he's had, like, let him keep the Universal title then. That's the one that he's had for 7,365
days. I don't think that WWE is going to split the titles. I don't.
Why?
I don't see them, because they've made no indication that they're going
then go to one title. Stop making him the Universal Heavyweight champ.
No, I'm not disagreeing with you, but Jim's whole thing was, what do we think is actually going to happen? So I'm just like, I don't think they're going to split the titles. I don't disagree that they should.
I still think whether it's one title, two titles, 7 title, it doesn't matter. Cody Rhodes is the guy that needs to be in the main event of WrestleMania.
And that's cool. That's cool. But I was just countering that with the whole fact of, like Jim was saying, I don't know that it makes that big a difference because WrestleMania sells itself in name.
I'm sorry, the night 2 main event.
Yeah. I think for me,
and if the night 1 main event is Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte Flair, and you're going to give me a shit wrestler in main event night 1 and a match that we know the outcome of night 2, really feels like a fucking dud of a WrestleMania closing wise.
I think main event wise, you want to have a big marquee main event. Whether or not the event sells itself or not, I think having like
Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens,
Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes on the poster, Roman Reigns or The Rock, which, for the record, I'm still saying that I don't believe The Rock is wrestling at WrestleMania. I've said that for months, and I still believe it. Maybe I'll be proved wrong, but I still don't believe we're getting Dwayne The Rock Johnson wrestling.
I mean, what if just as a scenario that I could see happening, what if Roman versus Rock was slated for main eventing night 2, and night 1 was Roman versus whoever wins the Rumble, which could be Sami, and whether or not he holds on to the title and defends it the next night or doesn't defend it the next night, but you have that leeway. I mean, you could have Roman very easily be like, look, I'm the man. I'll fight 2 nights in a row. I don't care. I can beat everybody. That's his whole shtick anyway.
Yeah. If they're gonna do The Rock and it's gonna close night 2, then I think there's potential for other play for night 1.
My other question though to you guys then, you non Sami Zayn believers, joking. If not now for Sami, then when though? Are you saying that you don't think he could be a main event WrestleMania guy? Because if this isn't the storyline that gets him there, then what is?
I don't see him as a WrestleMania main eventer. I could see him as a Rumble main eventer, SummerSlam main eventer, a Money in the Bank main eventer, a Backlash main eventer.
So you don't think he's as good as Bret Hart?
He's different than Bret Hart. Like,
Okay.
Just yeah, he's been on a different trajectory. Than for me, because right now, what I truly think is going to happen with the Royal Rumble is I still believe that Cody's going to return. I think Cody is going to win the Rumble, and I think he is going to challenge Roman Reigns to a WWE Championship match. Not an undisputed Universal Galactic Championship match. And that's gonna be like the great surprise of the whole thing, because WWE doesn't need to like hint to us that they're gonna split the titles. Cody already has, in a way. He's told us from the beginning he came back to win the title that Dusty never won. That was before the titles were even unified.
That was before there was even a second title even thought about.
Well, right. I mean but like when Cody returned, the titles were still separated. Now they were on a collision course to be unified, but like Cody told us he wants the WWE title.
They were unified.
You're right. My bad. So like he's telling us from the jump that like this is the end game. So he comes back the night on Raw after the Royal Rumble. I want the WWE Championship. Boom. He gets a WWE Championship match because that's what he wants as the Rumble winner. And then, Roman versus The Rock for the Universal title. You can pick which night, whoever closes. Roman beats Rock. Roman loses the WWE Championship to Cody. Roman's still a champion. Cody brings back the Winged Eagle or whatever, or a version of it, and we have world titles on both shows again. That's honestly what I think is going to happen.
Roman gets to keep the title for the blue brand.
Yeah, and he continues the God run for another year and a half, 2 years, whatever it's got to be.
Yeah. And here's the thing. I don't necessarily know that I say that Sammy will never be a main event WrestleMania guy. The feud to get him there would be an inevitable feud with Kevin Owens that they're going to inevitably get to, obviously. I think that it's too early to pull the plug on Sammy in the bloodline.
And that's interesting.
I think that's the reason why I would not have Sami Zayn main event.
I know they did PWG stuff, but I feel like, doesn't Philadelphia feel like a better place to do an Owens Zayn main event?
Or even if it's Sammy versus Roman next year in Philadelphia.
Or that.
Roman keeps the Universal title, never loses that one. Loses the WWE title to Cody. Cody does his thing. He feuds with whoever. Roman goes on the God run. Sammy stays the course. SummerSlam, the wheels start to fall off. Then at next year's Survivor Series, they lose. He wins next year's Royal Rumble and cashes in his shot to take on Roman in Philadelphia. I think we're rushing the end of Sammy being a member of the Bloodline to get him to the main event in April.
So you think they could actually maintain this like a whole other year?
I 100% think they could. I get it. It's a risk because of injuries and all that other shit. But guess what? Shit happens. Your highest selling merchandise guy right now is a guy who has an honorary Oos shirt and is coming up with t-shirt lines left and right. And we're going to take all of that momentum and send it to a screeching halt.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
I just think that there's so much more. And here's the thing. Let him and Solo do something. The Usos lose the tag titles to the Street Profits. Let Sammy and Solo go try to win them back instead of Jimmy and Jay. Let them go do things that you can then put, okay, here comes the cracks in the foundation. Sammy and Solo can't win the tag titles back for the Bloodline. Sammy cost somebody something. Jimmy and Jay lose a number one contenders match because of a Sammy interruption. Roman decides, one of you is going to win the Royal Rumble. I want it to be Solo, so he can go get the title from Cody or whoever the WWE champion is at that point. And you do the Randy Orton getting kicked out of fucking Evolution. Sammy wins the Royal Rumble. Awesome. Sammy's going to be the guy that goes and beats Kevin Owens for the WWE title at WrestleMania. You're sitting here clamoring for Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens for the WWE title in the middle of indie wrestling heaven, and he decides to go after the tribal chief. And Kevin Owens then faces somebody else. Maybe that's when we get Gunther. Something like that. Maybe we get face Kevin Owens versus Gunther and Roman Reigns versus Sami Zayn in the title matches in Philadelphia. I just think that there's so much more that you could do with the Bloodline, that having it come to a screeching halt after just getting the moment that we got on Sunday would just be a disservice to the way that this storyline has been slowly creeping up to the top of the mountain. I still think we have levels to go before we just drop the e-brake on this roller coaster and send it into the fucking stratosphere.
Honestly, I would love to see that. I don't know that I have the confidence that you do that they can get a whole other year out of this.
If this was Vince McMahon booking it, I would have never have said
if this
that.
was Vince McMahon booking
If this is Vince, we wouldn't be here today with this.
No, Sami Zayn would have been turned on by the rest of the Bloodline back in August or September.
Probably
Yeah,
September.
it definitely would have happened already though. And honestly, I don't even know that we would have gotten to Owens and Zayn versus it would have just gone nowhere. They would have just beat the shit out of him, and then he'd have been on fucking main event 3 weeks later wrestling Chad Gable.
Or he would have been released from his contract.
Right, exactly. He'd be another fucking castaway in AEW doing shit.
As long as he put on a Generico mask.
But you guys are right about that. Triple H's WWE is definitely more, let's tell a story, let's go all the way with it.
Well, you missed the beginning when we were talking about the War Games. The
recap.
Where
main event.
Yes. Where Jim made the comment, if you don't believe that WWE can tell long-term storytelling, that you can fuck all the way off.
Oh yeah, no, they definitely can now.
Because of who's in charge.
Oh yeah, no, 100%.
Because if it was Vince, there was no chance we would have gotten this.
Right. But
no.
I'm still curious as to whether or not they could get a whole other year out of this.
You don't have to have Roman there all the time.
No, you don't.
And I think that's the key to the situation.
But can you keep Sammy over as much as he is for a whole other year?
I think so. I think Sammy can get him to keep himself over.
I mean, I think as long as he keeps producing funny one-liners like feeling Usi and all of those things, I think there's an absolute shot that he can.
And here's the thing: if you get to June and you realize you're not going to get it all the way to WrestleMania,
remember that SummerSlam?
SummerSlam.
I mean, yeah.
If you get to late September and you realize it's not working, Survivor Series.
And that's the thing: Sami Zayn in the main event of a SummerSlam
totally makes sense.
I'm all in on.
Mm-hmm. Where's SummerSlam next year?
The heavy rumor is Detroit.
Okay.
I was gonna say if it was Toronto or something, that would almost feel like a.
Well, there's still which I mean you're not far from, really.
True.
But there's still belief that it's going to be in Canada because Edge kind of made that promo after an episode of Raw that his goal basically is to retire at SummerSlam next year in Canada, he said. So
I mean, if SummerSlam ends up in Canada next year and your main event is Sami Zayn versus Roman Reigns for a title, and you have Edge's retirement match somewhere on that card,
all timer.
That right, exactly. That's gonna rival this year's SummerSlam as one of the best of all time. Like our top 5 lists are suddenly 2002 and 2022 and 2023. Like,
Yeah.
no question. I mean, that would, if they end up announcing that, I almost feel like that becomes the real possibility versus it being all the way at WrestleMania next year.
Yeah, I mean, I think the reality of the situation is there's still meat on the bone, and I think that's where a Vince McMahon WWE,
Yeah,
even if if there was this much meat still on the bone, I think he would have potentially found a way to pull the trigger.
Oh yeah, 100%. Agreed.
But with this much meat on the bone in a Triple H WWE, I don't necessarily know that he's willing to rush this. And I think that's the key where I say Cody still makes the most sense to me, because Sami Zayn being involved in something else on the show. And here's an idea. And, Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens for the Intercontinental title in the middle of night number 1
for this year.
Because
my next question was, what do you do with Sami Zayn this year? I know this wasn't the topic. This was about who wins the Rumble, but I think we're all sort of in agreement that it's either Cody or Sami.
Here's the thing. The 2 guys that we're talking about, it's the same thing as our Wrestlers of the Year. It's the same thing as the top 2 in the college football playoffs. It's going to take a monster truck to it not be one of the 2 of them.
Yeah.
Like the top 2 in the college football playoff could lose this week, and they're still going to be in the playoffs.
Like the only scenario where it's not Cody or Sami is if, God forbid, they're both injured.
Yeah.
And then I don't know who you. Then I think you go with Seth because, like, who else? Like, right?
Yeah, you can do Rollins.
Safe.
You do Rollins, or you can do Owens.
Safe.
Yeah.
Either one of them is safe, and I think that's the thing. If you lose both options, you go either of the safe route.
And like, it feels like Triple H's WWE, and I think I said this before a while ago, and you guys were all like, "No, it's definitely Cody." But even so, it feels like there are a good 5 to maybe even 10 people who have been built over the past 6 months where if they really needed to step in and be the guy that wins the Rumble for whatever reason, everybody else goes down with an injury, and like Bobby Lashley is your next best possibility. It's not out of the realm of possible to buy him as winning the Rumble and going on to Mania. I'd say the same thing about Drew. I'd say the same thing about Seth. I'd say the same thing. Not necessarily Karrion Kross, but I mean, like,
I would think Gunther's in more of a
that's my guy,
right?
Kross.
But here's the thing that I do respect about Triple H's WWE. It feels like they've been building a bunch of guys with this in mind, so that they have backup plans for the worst case scenarios. Whereas I think WWE under Vince McMahon, they didn't even know who was going to win the Rumble until like the second week of January. And at that point, half the time it was like, I don't know, is Sheamus injured? Let's just have him win it. You know what I mean? So I respect a lot of what Triple H is doing and his creative team, because the Rumble is also more fun to watch when it feels like there's a whole bunch of different guys that can actually win. The 2002 Royal Rumble is one of the best of all time for a reason. There's like 7 guys in that match who all feel like they can very easily win, even if Triple H is the obvious winner because he's returning from injury. If Kurt Angle had won that match, nobody would have been that shocked. If Jericho had won that match, if a bunch of Jericho was the champion, but like there were a bunch of guys in that match where it was like, yeah, no, that could happen. Undertaker. That's why the reason why the Undertaker got eliminated by Maven was so shocking, because it was like, wait, Undertaker could win this. What do you mean he just got eliminated by the tough enough guy? So, I think that's interesting. And like, once again, I've filleted Triple H's booking more than I've filleted a lot of things. So.
Alrighty then.
What's the beauty? You have 8 weeks between now and Royal Rumble, so
The fact that you somehow found a way to get this back onto the Royal Rumble topic after Joe said what he said.
I know.
Great job.
Amazing.
We have 8 weeks, so let's get to the next topic here. Mike, it's yours. This or that?
You weren't here at the beginning of the show. He put Black Bischoff. I said it should have been Vincent.
We're not doing that. We're not doing that.
Jim said it. He should have put fake Sting. I said he should have actually put Scott Flash Norton.
No, Vincent. Vincent was.
I tried. He said no. It's great, dude.
We ain't doing that. Go ahead, Michael.
My ass.
What you got against Virgil? You two.
None
You two
against him.
good?
Soul Train Jones, dog. What the fuck?
Wait, you too good for some fucking
Yes.
Sauce.
meat sauce money?
All right.
Yes.
First, all right. My topic this week is this or that.
You can get with this,
Or you can get with that. And I'll give you guys options to pick from. You tell me this or that, and you tell me why. We'll start with this one, and we're going to start with Ernest. Vincent or Virgil?
Virgil.
Jim.
Homer.
Virgil.
Joseph.
Oh, Jesus. No, I'm gonna go Vincent.
Is it just to be different, or did you like the NWO version better?
It was because the NWO version knew where he was, whereas Virgil, they almost tried to push as like a main eventer. Like they were some serious, they were smoking something.
I mean, it's 1992. I mean,
This is the same company that had a plumber wrestle, TL Hopper. Looking at you, buddy.
And a baseball player.
Yeah, Abe Knuckleball Schwartz. All right, Jim, this or that? John Moxley or Dean Ambrose?
Moxley.
Ernest?
easily Moxley.
Joseph?
Oh, because of his current AEW run where he has been the heart and soul of that company, I will go with Moxley. But I almost like the Dean Ambrose character more, to be honest, when it wasn't stupid.
Dean's heel turn, whenever he turned on Seth
Yeah.
after Roman announced that he was leaving to battle
Mhm.
cancer, like that heel run of Dean doesn't get talked about a lot.
But it
That
was
a
great.
really good
That's what
run.
I'm saying. Like
I gotta
the
watch that.
character where he was just like unhinged.
Like setting the
He
shield
was
shit on
great
fire.
at that. Yeah.
28 to 2018, 17, 18 ish. Yeah.
Like he
Yeah,
was
sometimes.
great in that role. He was like, you're right. He's underrated, frankly.
I like-
Underrated.
Mid card.
We'll get there.
Joe, this or that? The Bella Twins
Oh Lord.
or the Fabulous Moolah and Mae Young?
I'm obviously not taking this from any kind of sexual standpoint. I'm good on all of that.
Obviously.
From its strictly entertainment value, no, not even that. Fuck Fabulous Moolah. That bitch was like a pimp. Like she laid the pimp down on all of female wrestling in the 50s. So, sorry, Mae Young. Like you're kind of fucked over by this, but I'll go with the Bellas. Plus, their theme music was awesome.
God damn Kraken. Ernest.
Bella Twins.
Jim.
Nikki Bella's twins.
Awesome.
Motorboat.
Oh, we almost broke fucking.
Stick my tongue in there. Oh my god, it's so good.
Oh my God,
We
Ryan.
almost broke that fucking sound earlier.
Good.
Ernest, this or that? United States title or Intercontinental title? Design.
Oh, design.
Yeah, don't rush to answer it.
Like, not. I mean, present day or just overall all time.
Current day title.
Current day title. U.S. title.
Jim.
Oh yeah, the U.S. title. That current Intercontinental title is doo-doo feces.
Joe.
Yeah, it's not even it's not what. It's
Exactly.
the U.S. title. I actually really love the U.S. title also.
I do
do
like
too.
the current U.S. title.
It's probably my favorite of all of the WWE belts, to be honest.
I love the old WCW one.
Oh, the WCW U.S. title is so good.
I want to buy that belt whenever I find it.
Yeah, the current man. Yeah, I would probably agree with the U.S. title currently out of the main roster titles because tag titles are duty. The women's tag are bad, and like I don't dislike the current WWE and Universal and women's titles, but yeah, the U.S. title feels awesome.
Jim, this or that? We're gonna go with a ladder match or a steel cage match.
Ooh. Ladder match. I feel like they are still somewhat more special than a steel cage.
Ernest,
I'll go ladder match.
Joseph.
Yeah, ladder matches are my favorite gimmick matches, so easily.
All right. So Joe, this one we're gonna go this or that. Austin Theory with a beard or Austin Theory without a beard?
You know, I'm not usually into guys with facial hair, but he looks really good with that little beard thing that he's got going on.
It's because he doesn't look like he's 12.
Yeah, I know, right? Like he manned up. It was like it went from come here boy to hey daddy. So I'm there for it.
That was strangely arousing.
I mean, literally, we talked about him on 3CT, and someone goes, "What is it?" I go, "It's the beard. It's the only thing that makes sense."
It really is, though.
His stupid ass entrance music's got to go, but the beard,
That too.
works. Jim,
Beard.
Ernest.
Easily the beard.
All right, this or that worst theme music. Joseph. Doink the Clown or Adam Bomb?
Jesus Christ, you think I remember what Adam Bomb's theme music sounds like?
I mean, it did sound like a nuclear missile.
You know,
I know Doinks.
I'm gonna go with Doink just because I remember Doink's theme music.
I think that we should have picked Crush or Adam Bomb because it sucked, but whatever. Jim.
Oh, easily Adam Bomb.
Theme music.
Yeah, I said worse, not
Oh,
best.
then Adam Bomb.
Yeah, okay. Ernest.
Oh yeah, God, Adam Bomb's theme music fucking sucked.
Yes.
I actually like Doink's theme music actually a little bit.
I mean, it worked. He sounded like an evil clown.
Yeah.
I had a couple more here. Ernest.
His
Clown-
theme music was called Atomic Bomb.
Yes.
Yeah, correct. Oh, fucking 1985.
And the beginning, you know how they got that noise? They threw one of those Nerf footballs that whistled.
So good.
Ernest,
Go, Mike.
Clowns Are Us or Hornswoggle and El Torito?
Who I prefer or who I'm picking, who I like?
This or that? Are you aligning yourselves with Clowns Are Us or are you aligning yourself with Hornswoggle and El Torito?
Hornswoggle, El Torito.
Jim?
Oh, Hornswoggle and El Torito. I love that shit, man.
Joseph?
Yeah.
They did a WLC match, dude.
That was the greatest
Yeah.
fucking thing of all
Come
time.
the fuck on. With a bullet. Easy.
Yeah. All right, this should be a good one. Jim, and I'm gonna do this just so that I can, break the fourth wall here. Nikita Lyons or Gigi Dolan?
Oh, damn.
I knew I was gonna get him.
Yes. Is a yes an answer? Is both all of the above?
He's looking for the C option in his score pad.
Damn it. Nikita Lyons. Gun to my head, Nikita Lyons.
Ernest,
That's easy. The key lines for me. That's easy.
Joseph. I know you're not aroused.
And neither be an option.
Joe, pick Gigi Dolan, and then I'll come over and take care of business.
I heard. You,
Like I've been-
Jesus.
so you got to bring Austin Theory with you.
It blows.
What happened?
Caps lost in overtime.
Oh shit!
Fucking Seattle is on fire, dude.
Are they on the West Coast?
They were up 2-0 in this game.
Yeah.
For fuck's sakes. All right, last one. I think this is a good one. The Bloodline or the Four Horsemen?
Which
All right.
version am I here? Which version am I here? Any version of Horseman?
The stable known as the Four Horsemen or the Bloodline?
Fuck, this is man. I'll go Bloodline, man. Especially with Sammy now too. God, Bloodline.
Joseph.
Yeah, there were too many versions of the Four Horsemen that were just straight up horsecock. So I'm gonna go with the Bloodline because they have not stopped being awesome, and I don't like the Usos would have to leave and be replaced by like the Viking Raiders or some shit for it to be one of those random versions of the Horsemen. You know what I mean?
Jim?
Bloodline. I was never I've always been a WWE guy, so I never even really experienced the
Are you serious?
full horseman.
You know, that's funny. Like me too. So like because I didn't really grow up watching WCW, but like I obviously watched it a little bit during like Nitro and the NWR and stuff. So like when people say Four Horsemen, the team that comes to my mind,
Mongo,
Yeah.
Benoit,
Yep.
Jeff
Jeff
Jarrett,
Jarrett,
and Ric Flair.
Plus, you spent years on the show. You've never been a Flair guy.
Right. But honestly, though, if you hear people talk about it, the greatest version of the Horsemen was Flair, Arn, Tully, and Ole, or possibly Barry, like depending on. But that's like 80s
with JJ Dillon as their manager.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
That means nothing to me.
Right. Like I didn't watch any of that. I've seen some of it.
Like
my adult life.
Like I'll tell you right now, if you take the mid 80s to late 90s Horsemen and put them up against the Bloodline, I think it's a lot closer.
Yeah.
But when you start putting in the schmaz that was from 93 on in the Horsemen, I think it just makes it where like Sid Vicious was a member of the Horsemen at one point.
Sting was a member, and like
for 3 nights,
and they basically
kicked his ass.
They basically tried to do the Sami Zayn storyline with Sting, only they didn't give it
and then Sting got
time
hurt.
to breathe. Yeah.
So yeah, what I would say is, if you have the opportunity and ability,
Don't choke, buddy.
It's the hiccups, dumb fuck. I would say they're comparable, is what I would say. That 80s run of the original Four Horsemen is comparable to the Bloodline. That's kind of where I was like, I don't want to say just a certain generation of the Four Horsemen, because there's only been one generation of the Bloodline. It's kind of been a linear thing where that's why I said stable versus stable. That's all I got.
All right, cool. All right, Joe, let's close it out.
Are you guys didn't already do my topic?
No, we saved it to the end.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, main event. Okay, so
he's here, ladies and gentlemen.
My topic is we're gonna go with a game of overrated or underrated, and this time we're going to use No, specifically not her, because we're using pre-women's revolution female wrestlers.
JC Jaden.
Mostly women from the 90s, I guess early 2000s. So, okay, let's start.
Ooh, Jim. We might have to play a game of sauce it or not sauce it.
Sauce or no sauce?
Exactly.
Okay, so overrated or underrated? Alundra Blaze.
Overrated as fuck.
Overrated.
I don't think she was a good wrestler. I think she's more known for like being the valet in the Dangerous Alliance than
she was the best in the WWF at the time, but it wasn't saying much.
She's not underrated. That's for damn sure. I mean, I guess rated, but whatever. Not underrated. Yeah, fuck overrated. Fuck it.
She didn't have great matches. Like they're like
right.
Go back and watch.
WWF did not give a shit about women's wrestling.
One fuck about fucking women's wrestling.
Yeah.
Okay. Lita.
Oh fuck.
I will go and I'm gonna say properly rated. I think she was good. I don't think she was great. I think she was above average for what they had.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you think she'd be right now if like she was?
I feel like she'd be
in a first run right now.
I feel like she'd be in the upper mid card of WWE. Like
okay.
I don't think she would be in the main event,
right?
But I don't think that she would be like looking at her release coming her way tomorrow.
Okay.
I'll go underrated actually, and I think if she was in there today, she'd actually with the training now and the focus on women's wrestling now, especially. I think she'd be fine.
I am going to say overrated.
Ooh.
Because she is padded up as one of the like best women's wrestlers of all time. She was great in her era, But if you put her up against the competition of today, I don't know that she holds up to that level.
Well, I mean, I think the other thing is when you look at the competition of today,
Right.
I still take her over a lot of the people they have under contract right now. Like right now, I take her over like all of the mid card. Like the only people I'm taking over her right now are Bianca Belair, Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, Rhea Ripley, and I mean that's it. I guess if Sasha Banks is still technically under contract, sure, but I don't.
Asuka?
Asuka, since she's come from Japan, just hasn't been the same. Like if you want to take what Asuka was doing in
But if we're talking height of powers, even within the WWE, I'll take Asuka's NXT run over anything Lita did.
I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying that I think that there's not a ton of like. I'm taking her over Ronda Rousey. I'm taking her over Shayna Baszler. I'm taking her over.
Are you serious?
Raquel Rodriguez. I'm taking her over.
Well, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I don't necessarily like. Yes, she was good in an era that was not good.
Right, but so right now you said she'd be upper mid card, right? Like, so to me, if people are saying that she is, you know, best of all time, you know, Mount Rushmore, whatever, if she's only in the upper mid card, like if she's in her prime today and she's upper mid card, to me that means she's overrated. I like Lita, but that's to me why I'm saying overrated, because if she's not standing up to the best competition of today, then the way she is rated is overrated.
I mean, I think she should go with all of them in the ring. I think the problem is upper mid card in comparison to the title picture. Like Ronda Rousey is your champion, and I don't think that she's anywhere near anything more than being released from her contract. But here we are because of the name.
For a name, she won't be here at all. Yeah, exactly.
So like upper mid card to me is like, okay, there's the main event is the two people that are the champion and the two people that are challenging for it. Like, so if she's fifth on my list right now, that's technically upper mid card to me, just because of the fact that I look at the main event as the Raw Women's Champion and their opponent, the SmackDown Women's Champion and her opponent.
I mean, if she's fifth to me, I look at her as more of like in the main event picture, though. And maybe we're just splitting semantics.
Yeah, I think we're in the same general.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so next woman, Miss Jacqueline.
I'm gonna say she's underrated.
Underrated.
Underrated. Yeah. I think she'll be a mid carder that would be very, very valuable to the company today.
I mean, she beat Disco Inferno, right? So
I mean,
Fuck that guy.
Everybody beat Disco Inferno. Wow, why are you so angry about Disco Inferno?
All right.
Sure.
Show me on the doll where Disco hurt you.
All right. Well, speaking of getting Ernest butt hurt, let's do this one. Miss Elizabeth.
I mean, are we talking as a wrestler or just in general in her place in the company?
Wrestler. Yeah, I don't think she took one bump, right?
Yeah.
No.
One bump. And
Smaller than one of them Savage in 89, but
Properly rated.
yeah, she's probably rated. She's, first lady wrestler. Overrated?
Yeah, I feel that.
Like I get it. Like it's cool, but like go back and watch WrestleMania. What was it? 3 was the tournament, or was 4 of them the tournament?
4.
Why the fuck does she need that many dresses to color coordinate Macho Man? Why is she making it about herself? The goddamn man's about to win the world title. Let it be about him. You overrated as fuck. Like all you did was stand out there. You didn't even help him win the matches. Like all she brought to the table was literally someone to walk Randy out to the ring.
But she looked good doing it though.
Vanna White looks better than her still doing fucking Wheel of Fortune.
Well, I mean Elizabeth's dead, so Vanna would naturally look better.
Vanna White in 2022 greater
fucking
than
asshole.
What? I mean,
are we doing this now? Complain about her dresses or WrestleMania 4? Are we doing this right now?
All right. What I'm saying is for someone to be the act, Randy Savage is the act. It's the biggest night of his career. I don't need the flashiness from the valet that's just going to stand in the corner and do nothing. That's what I'm saying.
Well, she's not underrated. That's a damn sure.
The best thing that she did was run to the back to go get Hulk Hogan to fend off Andre the Giant. So what you're telling me is she's a valet who left her man to go get another man to fight her man's battles?
That man was named the Luster.
That's a bitch move.
Well, she's the
Overrated
reason
AF.
Well, you mentioned her and Vanna White was the reason I got into white women in the first place. So there you go. Anyway,
Okay,
next.
you
Who all seen the white woman say, yeah?
Oh, I was also fucking. That's my age. That's my time period. Mid 80s.
Oh man! Wow. So Lauren must really hate Miss Elizabeth. All right. So going on.
Goddamn scum of the earth.
Go fuck yourself, Joe. Next one.
China.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that sounder.
China.
Thank you.
Jim's president. I'm joking.
I'm
Eat shit, die, motherfucker.
I'll be the guy. I'll be the guy here. I'll die on the sword. She was overrated. Like, she should have never gotten in the ring. Like, her stuff with
terrible in the ring.
Her stuff with DX as like the bodyguard and all of that stuff. She almost killed Marlena like her third night, like shaking her like a fucking shake weight.
You ain't lying. Do you think that was a situation though where like she was ahead of her time? Like today against the
Correct.
Women,
Today she would have been in a great spot.
Yeah, she would have.
Because there would have been a lot more training and preparation too.
And that's what I say. And that's how I want to say rated too, because I think her character was great. But her wrestling
But the problem in itself is whether there was that's the cat's trying to get out.
Her.
She was never great at promos.
No.
She never felt comfortable talking, and I don't like if you're not comfortable talking now, you're never going to be comfortable talking at all.
That was the beauty of DX.
Exactly.
Yeah, she didn't need to cut promos at all.
Those two fucking guys are.
But that's the thing. DX wouldn't be a thing nowadays.
Yeah.
So that's why I say I think that she's still overrated. Because yes, she had fun matches against Eddie and Benoit, or not Benoit, Jericho and Jeff Jarrett and stuff like that. But those are also like, look at who I just mentioned. JEFF, 7,000 years in wrestling. Chris Jericho, the Ocho, one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. Eddie Guerrero, arguably one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. It's easy to have good matches with guys that are that good in the ring. You put her in the ring against Molly Holly and Marlena and the Cat, it wasn't good. Like, she is the Alundra Blaze of the late 90s. Like, there's just mediocrity there after her.
All right, I know we can't rate this. We'll do this person because she post Divas Revolution. But if you had to choose between them, China or Nia Jax?
China.
I mean,
Nia Jax, I guess, it's still a better wrestler than she is, though. At least, I mean, Nia Jax is
she
dangerous. Well, she's dangerous as shit, but she. I mean, she's. What
is she?
I think our ideas of better wrestler.
We're going on a curve here, though. I mean, China's
go back and watch some Nia Jax matches. I dare you.
I can tolerate in comparison to China.
Triple dog dare you. And tell me
Nia Jax match.
I can tolerate Nia Jax in comparison to China.
The last one, because I didn't have to watch another one. That was my favorite one.
My favorite one was My Hole.
Speaking of My Hole, Sable.
She's like Elizabeth in a way. Although she had some in-ring stuff, but she's sort of
some in-ring stuff. She held the women's title for what, 2 years?
I mean, fuck, what, 99, 2000, some shit, if that.
Yeah, when China was there.
I mean,
rated.
Yeah, I'm with the two of them. I think she's properly rated. Okay. She's not like overhyped as this great in-ring wrestler.
Right.
So I think it's where it's like you got what you got out of that time frame.
Okay. Tori Wilson.
Oh, that's complicated.
You know what? You know what? As bad as some of the shit that she was involved in, I'm gonna say underrated because here's the thing about Tori Wilson. no matter, she had a bad match on SmackDown. The next week, she learned from that mistake and was at least attempting to get better in an era where they didn't really give a fuck about women's wrestling still.
Right.
Like Tori Wilson was one of those where, wow, we really had a stinker this week. Well, what did I do wrong so it doesn't happen again?
Get better.
Yeah.
Right.
She wanted to get better. Like, I'll give her enough credit to say that she's underrated because at least she was willing to put in the work to get better.
Yeah.
And I'll go underrated too, because you look at her Hall of Fame speech and she brought up a great point that like she never really needed to be a great wrestler because that wasn't the time that she was in.
Correct.
Like she was one of the best at one of the worst times of women's wrestling. And yeah. God, and I still would, by the way.
Yes.
Toss it 110%.
Yes. No, I'll go underrated as well too.
All right. Ivory.
Underrated.
Underrated.
Yeah.
So goddamn good.
Yeah.
And she'd be great today too, especially.
Oh, she would be thriving in women's wrestling.
She'd be arguably one of the biggest heels in the company.
She'd be fantastic. Oh my god.
Another one that I think you guys will probably go the same route with, but we might as well do her. Molly Holly.
Oh,
underrated.
Love her.
Molly Holly is anything but Mighty Molly. I was in on Mighty Molly was just
Molly was shitty.
It was just
Mighty Molly was a project of the time that
I know. It was just too much.
Yeah, it was.
Well, I'll take Mighty Molly over.
She'd be an awesome utility person, especially in the mid card.
Nikki Ash was worse than
100%.
Mighty Molly. All right.
Nikki Ash happened because Mighty Molly happened because the hurricane happened.
Right, exactly.
Nikki Ash could fly because
Molly.
Mighty
Molly.
Molly.
So hey, it got me to buy that shirt for Ryan, so it was not all for naught.
All right, this one could actually be a fun one, and we can wrap these up soon, maybe like 2 or 3 more. Luna Vachon.
I'll go underrated, actually.
I think I'll agree with that.
Underrated.
Oh, under.
I'll
Great character.
I'll say she was properly rated.
Love the character.
It's hard to tell because from a WWE standpoint, we never got to see how good she could be in the ring.
Correct. That's why
I think I'll agree. I'll lean towards Mike. I'll change my answer and go proper. But I think there's potential for under. She's definitely not over.
I can see that.
She's definitely not overrated.
I can see that also. Stephanie McMahon.
I'm gonna say underrated because she
me
did
too.
a lot to a lot of those storylines.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, underrated.
Like without her, like the Ministry of Darkness stuff with turning on Stone Cold, like that was a very integral part of
Absolutely.
it.
The Undertaker kidnapping 19-year-old Stephanie McMahon made that story.
Helmsley era where he drugs her and gets her married, and then
yeah. Talk about storylines that don't fly in 2022. By the way,
you don't have to censor this part of the show, Jim.
There's no work in post here. If that happens, that's up to EJ, the alleged host.
Tony McMahon is over there.
But also with Stephanie McMahon, like you think about like the Brie Bella storyline and other ones where like she full on let talent fucking slap the taste out of her mouth as fucking boss.
Do we not remember Ronda Rousey basically turning her into a judo throw mat?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think it's actually easily. I think she's easily underrated.
Yeah.
Something close.
Nice. Okay. All right. We'll go one last one, and I'm not throwing Trish Stratus out here because I feel like we've all talked about Trish on this show before.
Probably rated.
Our opinion. I just said I'm not throwing her out.
I don't give a fuck. I want to say it. So good.
You're an idiot.
Shut the fuck up. Next.
No, I'm not going to shut the fuck up. Just because you think you're the host doesn't mean I'm going to fucking listen to you, fucking shiny McShinehead.
Yeah, you might be the host, but Jim's the producer. Jim, turn his mic off.
I can do that.
All right. Last but certainly not least, Marlena.
Underrated, Ashley.
I've never heard anybody talk about Marlena before. That's why
she was great what she did. Especially with fucking Goldust, man. Fucking
yeah, but after when she became Terry and had the Terry Invitational Tournament.
I'm trying to forget that, man. Fuck.
Yeah. When Ernest was just like she was great at
She was a valet for meat.
when Ernest was like when Ernest
mean,
said she was great at what she
Wasn't
did.
she part of PMS too?
Yes, she was.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, wait,
Yes, she
wait, wait.
was.
When Ernest said she was great at what she did, all I thought to myself was, New Jack? I'm pretty sure she did him.
Oh, was she?
Yeah.
100%?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You
100%.
think he played his music the entire time?
Probably.
Like just fucking Natural Born Killer.
Yeah,
just
she was
fucking-
part of the Pretty
The
Mean
entire-
Sisters, PMS.
Jesus Christ.
Holy
I mean,
hell.
look, if you take her back to WCW, she was in
Alexandra
yeah.
York from the York
Yeah.
Foundation.
No, the gold dust thing was obviously her fucking prime. So
Sure.
And
but
she's also
I feel like I gotta go over because everybody wants to remember just the gold dust stuff.
she had some pretty shit fucking run gimmicks after
Dude,
that.
so bad.
Yeah, I'm with Jim here. Overrated.
Man, as a 13-year-old boy though.
Salsa.
Oh,
definitely.
you ain't
Salsa.
kidding.
Yeah, manager of Meat, part of PMS, hosted the first ever tit. I mean,
That's Vince Russo booking though.
Terry and
First
Steve.
ever tit.
The first, she,
Fucking Vince Russo.
first and last tit, by the way. I'm fairly certain.
The apex of she was the apex of tit. She was like where tit started and ended.
Yeah. She started and ended tit. Jesus.
Shit. On that note, that's good rest of the week, man. Ready, Mikey? Rest of the week.
no, I can't breathe.
I love tit though. I mean,
Who doesn't?
if we're being
This
I'm
guy,
good.
he doesn't.
I'm so
Oh.
sad.
I found out who doesn't. He's right here.
Yeah, I forgot.
I like pecs.
Oh wait,
alright,
you're didn't we had the debate one time about like you think guys shouldn't have nipples, right?
no, he said ass. or-
Women should have asses.
Was that you?
Women shouldn't
Yeah,
have
that was
ass.
Joe.
Yeah, women don't belong with asses. Men can have nipples.
And we're done. And we're done.
Putting on a man's teeth.
Yeah,
And
we've gone
And
too
we're
far.
done. We're gone too. Then we're done.
Not too
Joe.
far.
And
Rest
I
of
agree.
Rest of the week. Rest of the week. Rest of the
week.
week.
I'm taking the bloodline first.
Okay, that's fair.
Jim, go ahead.
Does that mean we lose Sammy, you lose the whole fucking.
I'm taking the
Yeah.
whole.
Hold on. Let me cross off everybody on the list here individually.
Take your student of the game notebook back to Tuesday nights. Let's go, Jim.
ahead.
Give me Austin Theory.
Damn it.
Sorry, Joe. Sorry, Joe.
Speaking of tits.
Just because Joe's upset, Joe pick the next one.
Oh fucking hell, give me Ronda Rousey.
Boo.
What's wrong with you?
29th, Ronda Rousey on my fucking ballot this month. All right, awesome. Ernest.
Jay Cargill said outfit last night. Oh my lord.
I've never wanted to lick a dollar bill more.
Don't recommend that. You can get all sorts of
What
teeth.
licking
My
licking
buddy-
a grill or licking a dollar bill or
Dollar
both?
bill.
Well, in his case, both.
I'm gonna take the Elite. Picked up their first win in the trios eliminator. Jim.
I'll take Becky Lynch. She got the return and the win at War Games.
Joseph.
We're gonna take the rest of the women's team that won at War Games.
Team Bianca. Ernest.
Give me the next big star, Rhea Ripley.
He just took. Oh Jesus Christ! All right.
He took the other team.
Yep. Hold on. Let me figure out something real quick because I think I'm gonna do something I shouldn't. That's the last pick for the wrestlers of the month, for the wrestlers of the week. Where'd it go? Give me the Toxic Attraction for beating Kaden Carter, Katana Chance, and Nikita Lyons on the episode of NXT last night.
All right, I think that's all. That's all of it.
That's all for wrestlers of the week. Again, we have a race between the final, the top two, with a potential third place squeaking in. Like Ohio State and Alabama fans hope they can squeak into the top four. Not gonna happen.
I'll say, well, I hope it doesn't happen. But anyway, it's a long one. As she said. Plug away. Jim, go first.
Yeah, 3 Count Thursday, 3CT. You can subscribe to us on all podcast platforms. 3 Count Thursday, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, merchandise on TeePublic. Dropped a live episode tonight. We have the podcast site coming out on Tuesday. Huddle Up Podcast at Huddle Up Podcast, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. You can find us. We are live Tuesday nights, 8 Eastern time. We have the 5 for Fighting by this guy, by Mike. We got my 5 observations. Allegedly, we have the NBA one starting next week.
No, you won't.
So we'll believe it when we see it. But make sure
Wait, Mike, I won't.
No, because you'll be too busy crying at the fact that you guys lost back-to-back games to the Boston Celtics.
All right, that's
Heyo.
that's a good point. So 2 weeks from now, Jim. Go ahead.
But yeah, so check that out. Make sure you subscribe to the feed so you don't miss any of them. And Discussions with a Nobody, probably we'll have a new one dropping sometime next week at DWAN Pod on Twitter and Facebook.com. Discussions with a Nobody.
Joseph,
What?
You want to
Plug
say
something?
anything?
plug something.
He's not going to
I'm
plug
gonna
his
plug
fucking-
myself.
I'm sorry I didn't have a Wrestlers of the Month list. I legitimately put one together, but then my dog ate it, and I really can't defend things from my dog. Y'all have literally seen on this show. You've watched my dog fuck me like a cadaver. So I just he got the home. He got
we're
the
back to fucking.
He got the
Dallas.
letter.
How
He
the
got
fuck
it.
did
I
we
couldn't-
almost made it through the fucking show. We almost.
2 hours 10 minutes.
Hey,
Look,
I
Mike,
can't fault him. He didn't say it last week.
right. 2 hours 10 minutes was bound to
He
happen
asked
at some
him to be
point.
good last week. He
Right.
was good last week.
Somebody get the chalkboard. Days since last time Joe mentioned fucking a dead body.
DJ, just put it on your whiteboard.
Give-
Oh,
Give me the eraser.
never mind.
Hero.
Did you say white broad?
No.
We're
boy.
gonna write it on Lauren.
He,
Fuck it. Mike, go ahead, man. Shit.
You can follow the show at Take the Number 3 Wrestling. You can follow me.
Michael.
At Call Me Burn. As Big Jim
Other side.
Over there. mentioned, you can listen
That
to the
hole.
Fight for Fighting podcast as part of the Huddle Up podcast family. Check out the newest Huddle Up podcast t-shirt designs. We all have numbers now, and we all have our own customized shirt. So if you're Team Big Mac or if you're Team Jim, buy a shirt. If you're Team Ernest, buy one of our shirts and send it to Ernest. Tell him to pick a better number. Otherwise, you guys can hang out with us every Thursday. Check out the 3CT guys. I was on their episode earlier today, and I'll be on their episode on Tuesday. A lot of fun. Let's see. Anything else before we kick rocks? No, that's all I got.
What about your baseball podcast?
Oh, yeah, Sunny Days and Double Plays. I got to record that tomorrow. We got a full slate of games coming up this weekend. If you're in the South Florida area and want to know more about the league, listen to it. If you're interested in playing, reach out to me. I can direct you where you need to go. But other than that, that's all I got.
Yep. Ernst Week Podcast, all podcast catchers. My YouTube page at youtube.com/@ErnestChristian. Other than that, I'm on Hull Up every Tuesday with this fucking guy here and whatnot. And
Hoping to get more of the way through the backlogs.
As long as I'm winning the fucking weeks, that's all that matters.
Hey,
Yeah,
you started off great in college, and then you found a way to fuck that up. So
yeah, that's how my year was went in gambling in general. First 2 weeks, not bad.
no wonder you wanted to quit so many times.
Other than that, anything else I'm missing? That's it. Guys, I gotta be back after what 5 fucking weeks, like 5 fucking years, but I'm back.
Yeah,
So,
Ernest is on this
see you
show.
guys next week.
When you're
Take the wrestling.